Hi, good evening. My name's April Whitlock. I am the CEO and Ambassador #1 of Fundanoodle, and I am so happy that you could join us this evening. Now, sorry we're starting a little late, and hopefully some of you will find us off the event page. Technical difficulties on my part. I didn't realize I had to have my iPad or my phone set up in order to go live off of the event itself. But now we're still here, so I have my computer, and like any good working mama with 3 kids, I am doing this in a place where I didn't expect to be tonight, which is at the beautiful Children's Theater in Imaginon in Uptown Charlotte. So I'm here with my daughter in her conservatory class, and we had to kind of switch around parenting, so I finally found quite enough spot here in the theater with all the classes going on around that so I could get started. So whew. Okay, we're here and we're going. And I wish it wasn't so bright so you could see the city behind me because it's a really great view. Again, I will just wait. We know we have some folks I hope that will join us, and if not, I hope that they will be able to watch later. So we like to do these lives every once in a while to give an in-person overview about Fundanoodle and more importantly about our passion project, the Ambassador Program. And this one is so appropriately following up our 2nd annual fiesta that we just held in a hotel right over there this weekend with some of our senior leaders in our ambassador program. And it was unbelievable, to say the least. It was such an inspiring weekend. We learned so much. We have so many ambassadors who bring so many different skills to the table. And we were able over the course of the weekend to dig really deep in all different ways that you can use our hands-on learning tools at home, in a classroom, in an OT office, in a speech pathologist office, in a physical therapist office, you name it. And then we spent a lot of time learning about how to develop content that the consumers will enjoy, that it will help them understand how to use the product, how to be leaders within our communities on our hands-on learning mission. And we were inspired just by each other and by some amazing speakers who taught us that it is really important as a woman to follow your passion and to do something you're passionate about. So before we get too much into the program, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Fundanoodle and why it's so important. And maybe you're here on the call just to learn more about the product because you're like, what is that? What's that name? So our products were designed by pediatric occupational therapists and elementary educators. The whole purpose of everything we make, from our uber popular I Compound activity kit to our super cut scissors, so you have to go look at a live I did today where we scare everybody, like holding our hair and cutting them and they don't cut the hair at all, to our handwriting books and our math books. Everything in our line was intuitively designed to help little learners between the ages of 2.5 and 6 to develop all these body skills they need to be truly successful in the classroom. And we made them so they're fun and they're engaging and they really help impact social interaction, not only in the classroom, but at home in a one-on-one environment. Everything that our products do has a developmental purpose behind it. And they're geared toward laying that foundation that has to be laid. We cut and we pound, so we're building up all 5 digits and making them strong to be able to hold a pencil. We build up the wrist with pounding, so we get a strong wrist action and we don't get fatigued when the child gets in the classroom. We do all types of activities with magnets so that we improve our visual perception and that our children learn how to identify letters in a different way, whether they're making them with a hammer or with magnets or with wiki sticks on top of the muscle mover cards. Because you know what's the most important thing right now is that we're teaching our children that learning is fun, but that we're also getting them to use every part of their body, all of it, because that's what the brain is wired to do right now. The brain is not wired to sit behind a computer screen when you're 2.5 to 6. The brain is not wired to learn everything you need to learn on this. The brain is wired to learn to use a heck of a lot more than just one finger stroking and pointing. The brain is wired for what Fundanoodle does. And that's why we want to make sure that we get these products out into the hands of the parents and the caregivers and the teachers that need them. Because we have developed a culture right now of individuals who are too focused on using technology as a substitute in an educational learning environment. What we've done is we've made, we're bringing sexy back, like Justin, here with this technology, and everybody thinks that this is what you need to hand to your child to teach them. I mean, for goodness gracious, there's products out there that you can buy where you can strap your iPad to the infant carrier. And that kid doesn't want to look at the iPad, they want to look at the world and see what's going on in the world and pull that information and learn what things smell like and look like, not what Paw Patrol is telling them on the screen. And even if you're handing your kid this to learn their letters or learn their numbers, and it's one way that they can, but they're not learning how to physically make them. They're not holding something in their hand and learning the shape that makes that D different than that B, different than that P, different than that Q. When someone tells me as a 3-year-old that they've learned, their kid knows all of their letters, they know everything they need to know because of an iPad, I really kind of shudder, because they don't. Do you know that handwriting is fundamental to being a good reader? If you are not learning how to properly write your letters from top to bottom and to write them from left to right, then your brain's not learning the right pattern that your eyes need to go to be a reader. If your child is having to use a guide to write their letters, then they don't know their letters. If they can write A through Z in uppercase and in lowercase without anyone telling them what to do and without any piece of paper beside them as a guide, then yes, they do know their letters then. Because the whole thing with handwriting is that it should become part of the kinesthetic memory. It should be something just like the fact that you don't have to think to sit down in a chair. You don't have to think when you get out of bed. Your body's muscles know exactly what to do. And handwriting, when appropriately taught and appropriately practiced, should be the exact same thing. Because if a child is studying in a kindergarten classroom or a first grade classroom and still thinking, oh, I don't really know, I don't remember how to make this letter, I got to think about it, or they're holding a book and they're not able to sound out the word because they can't recognize that letter, then we've put a damper. We've put something in front of, a barrier in front of their learning process. So what we advocate and what our passion project is about here at Fundanoodle is making sure that parents understand the place for this. And the place for this is not front and center. Sure, it's fun and it can be used as part of some learning and as a distraction as needed. But what children really need in this age group are hands-on tools. They need to be engaged. They need to use their body. They need to be on the floor. They need to be rocking like a turtle and galloping like a unicorn and all the other cool, fun things they get to do with our muscle mover cards. Now, in a live like this, we can't go we have so many products and they do so many great things. We really don't go in a lot of detail at this point. But you can visit our Facebook page or you can visit our website at fundanoodle.com, or you can go on YouTube and look up Fundanoodle Learning, and you can find hours of video out there that you'll be able to see how kids engage in the product, what they're learning, why it's important, and why, regardless of if you join us as an ambassador and join the Passion Project, that if you have a little kid in your room, in your home, or in your life, if you're a grandparent or an aunt, and you have someone between 2.5 and 6 that's not really engaging with their hands all the time, then you should check out our products for the next birthday or holiday, or just because you're an awesome aunt or mom, and you can do that on our website. So a little bit, there's a mix of the products that are manipulatives and are activity books. We have everything's kind of ranged, but the good news about the products that we've seen over and over again in the classroom is that it doesn't matter if the child that is using the product is off the charts brilliant, is doing everything in advance, or if it's a child who might be struggling to meet some milestones, or a child who's even on the spectrum or having some learning difficulties. Wherever that child is, Fundanoodle meets them exactly where they are. And it's so cool in a classroom or in a home environment to see kids that may be at two different spots using the exact same product together. So not only is our product developing all this body work and brain work that has to happen to be a good learner, but we're also contributing to social interaction and interpersonal skills that, again, don't get developed here. So that's another reason to kind of put the screen away and pull out Fundanoodle, or any hands-on learning. And the cool thing about our Instagram feed and our Facebook page and any of the ambassadors that you may follow is that it's not all Fundanoodle all the time for them. They are constantly showing you the ways that they do hands-on learning at home, whether they're using some of our products or other things that they found. So you should go and Google some of those folks and follow them and check them out. So real quick, if you have any questions on the side, we have lots of our ambassadors have joined and are commenting in. I know a lot of people just like to watch and not make any comments, and that's totally cool. And you can come back later and make some comments as well for any questions that you might have about our products. Any of the ambassadors that we have across the country can answer your questions, can help you understand what works. We had one of our senior leaders yesterday post on our group page about how a mom tracked her down in the carpool line, like came up to the window and knocked on the door and said, "I need help. My 3-year-old won't write. My 3-year-old hates writing. They don't want to do anything that comes to do with writing. I need some help." So this ambassador, actually, she popped out of her car, popped her trunk open, and together they stood there in line and looked at the product, and then they met this morning and put a whole game plan together for this mom to help their 3-year-old learn to love to write and to love learning. And that's what it means to be an ambassador. So if you're watching tonight and you're thinking about joining us on our Passion Project mission, let me tell you a little bit about that. Now, let's get the elephant out of the room, okay, that everyone seems to might get kind of caught up on. Yes, we are a direct selling company, but the only reason we're a direct selling company is because I have learned over the last 3 years that I've owned this company that the only way to get it into the hands of the mamas that need it is for a mama that they know to talk to them about it. And there's no other way to build that type of distribution network except through direct selling. So let's just get that off our chest now. And if you're like, never going to work for an MLM, I'm never going to be a direct seller, then go ahead and you can exit out now, but definitely talk to an ambassador about getting the products because you're going to need them. But if you can kind of look and move on from there and think, that does make sense. That's the whole point of direct selling, right? To build relationships, a one-on-one relationship with the people in your community, to build a relationship with that preschool that's 3 doors down that you drive past every day. That's the whole point, is building those relationships on the ground level in your community so that you become the expert at hands-on learning where you live. So our ambassadors can join us in one of 3 options. Anywhere, our starter kits go anywhere from $99 to $175, and the amount of product that's in is reflected in that price. Right now, we do have a special because it is our 2-year anniversary that we are recognizing, our acknowledging and doing our founders pricing again on our senior kit. So this kit that is one of, that's typically $175, you can get this month and you can join us for $129, which is what our founders got to do 2 years ago when they first took that leap of faith. So the only other commitment to be an ambassador, besides being passionate about kids and early education, is we do have a very robust back-end system. You'll have a customized front-end website that you can share with people and they can order directly, and everything's processed on the back end. You don't have to think about anything, as well as having your own virtual office where you can email your contacts, you can see what they order, you can pull reports and help create your sales strategy with that. And all of that you get, as well as an unbelievable tribe of women who just want you to succeed for $15 a month. That's it. There's really not another business I know of that you can start for as little as $99 up front and $15 a month. And that's it. No one's going to ask you to buy anything else. No one's going to tell you you have to go recruit a team of 20 or 30. No one's going to make you feel like you have to do something that you don't feel passionate about. Now, you will learn as you grow that you want to sell this product, and you may want to buy some and have on inventory because you're going to go do a learning fair with a bunch of teachers, and you know they're going to want to walk away with it in their hands so they can start using it in their classroom tomorrow. You're going to want down the road to build up inventory so you can do Christmas shows and holiday shows from late October until early December, because Santa brings a lot of Fundanoodle to the Christmas trees these days. But no one's going to make you do that. You're going to learn how you want to grow your business and what works with you and your family and your own financial situation. Now, some of my ambassadors don't have teams. Some of them are occupational therapists who have joined specifically because they want to use the product in their practice and they want to sell the product to their customers, and that's it. But those of my ambassadors who have joined that want this to be not only a passion project, but a way to make a difference financially with their family, they are growing teams and recruiting teams. But the cool thing about that, and we saw it this weekend, are these teams become family. And the cool thing is that these teams get recruited and they end up being a mix of personalities and a mix of expertise. So you can have a team that there's an OT, and there's a former teacher, and there's a homeschool mom, and there's a stay-at-home mom, and there's a working mom, and they're all on these teams, and they all help each other understand the way to use the product, the way to sell the product, the way to talk to parents about the product, and all of the amazing things that the product does to benefit little learners. When you start, and the kits come really fast, you get exposure to all of our training materials. Like I said, we have hours upon hours of video if you want to watch those. But mostly, the training comes from opening up the box and pulling out the product. Because everything we designed was designed to be intuitive. It was designed to be easy for a mom to start using it. It was designed for that mom who just got the phone call from her teacher that her child needs an OT referral and needs some help with their motor skills, and they don't know what to do. And instead of getting overwhelmed by Googling and all the other things, you come in as the ambassador and say, hey, let's start with these muscle mover cards. Your kid's going to love them. These animals are so cool. And not only are we going to be working on motor skills, but they're going to start identifying animals. They're going to want you to go on YouTube and tell them what a quail sounds like. Then we're going to give them some wiki sticks and they're going to shape them. And by the end of the day, they've used wiki sticks and Play-Doh and dry erase, and holy moly, they're ready to write with that pencil and they're not fighting you anymore. And that's what your job is as an ambassador. Your job's just to help a mama find her way with her little learners, or to help a teacher who's frustrated that she's now getting a class of kindergartners who don't know how to hold a pencil, isn't it? Or they don't know how to use scissors, holding them like this, because they're growing up with this as their teacher, or with scissors forbidden in the house or forbidden in the preschool. Teachers want to talk to you. Trust me. As an ambassador, you're coming in with a way that they can start pushing motor skill development into their really busy test-heavy schedule in a way that kids are going to learn, and it's going to help them, and it's going to become part of their day and not something extra that has to be added on. As an ambassador, your job is to cultivate those relationships in your community, and that's it. Now, we do have ambassadors who have success on Facebook and on social media. All of our ambassadors really have built great teams and followers because they're sharing these ideas that they're seeing other people do, and they're helping online. And we have many ambassadors who you would recognize as some of the top bloggers across the country in occupational therapy and education. But this is not a business, if you're looking for one, that you're just going to sit right here behind your computer and you're going to make some pretty pictures and you're going to post them and you're going to spam all your friends and you're going to post them on a group and it's just going to sell. That's not who we are. That's not what we are. We're all about integrity. We're all about identifying the right people for this product who want to use it and who want the business opportunity. But most importantly, we're a hands-on learning company. I will not go as far as we're not an anti-tech company. We're just a not now tech company. We're just a 2.5 to 6 Trust me, they're going to master that iPhone when they're 8 without blinking if you don't hand it to them now. That's what kind of company we are. And because we're a hands-on learning company that doesn't put a lot of high priority on this, then that's how you sell it. It's hands-on selling. It's building relationships. It's getting in front of people at a school fair or setting up a play place area. It's doing our play dates. It's doing something where kids are coming to touch and feel the products. And moms who think, oh my God, I can't make dinner without an iPad and you're telling me to put it away. And then they watch the pounding kit. And they watch as the child will sit there the entire time they make dinner. And instead of being like this and having that kind of, as we all know, addiction after when take it away and no, I want it back. The kid's going to sit there and they're going to pound and they're going to get some of this aggression out and they're going to get some of this energy out that they may need and they're going to use their body. And then when it comes time to eat, you know what? Well, they may protest because they may want to keep pounding. So I'm not going to say there's not going to be a protest, but when they sit down to eat, they're going to be calm. They're going to be focused. They're going to be able to interact with them in a way that you probably never could when you take them off the iPad and sit them down for dinner. Try it. I've made bets with several moms, and they've never returned the I Can Pound kit. So as an ambassador, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people who want to be out in their community developing relationships, whether it's one-on-one or whether it's going into a school and making a presentation for parents and letting parents look at you with deer in headlights like, oh my gosh, I'm spending all this money on this kindergarten prep and on this online program and on this, and I haven't thought about these. Why am I not thinking about these? These are the most important thing. These have to unzip pants and to go to the bathroom by themselves in kindergarten. These have to open their own lunchbox. These have to put on their own coat when they go to kindergarten. If you're not developing these, those kids can't do it. Because in addition to this, we've developed a culture of convenience where we are taking away every opportunity for our kids to learn how to develop their motor skills. My 15-year-old learned how to eat yogurt with a spoon and a bowl. Holding onto a spoon works the fingers that holds a pencil. Getting it out of a bowl works the wrist that helps hold a pencil and stabilize the body. My first grader at her preschool was handed a squeezy pouch. Zip! Not really a lot going on there in the whole motor skill world, right? It's almost impossible to find shoes that tie for a toddler. They're all Velcro. And so we're not learning how to tie our shoes, which is another piece of the puzzle. There are so many instances we can point to that we've created a culture of convenience. We have elastic waist more than we have buttons and zippers for kids. And it's great. And in the moment when you've got 3 kids and they all need a lot of your attention, that elastic is king and it is awesome. But you got to step back for a minute and think, what is my kid not doing that I did growing up? What did I do with my hands that my kid's not doing? And maybe it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal right now in the grand scheme of their whole development. Maybe it's cooler to see them using this and showing grandparents, look, he can find the square just by touching. But at the end of the day, the most important thing that you could do for your child is to give them every opportunity to be successful. And if you are not focused on the fundamentals of fine motor skill development, gross motor skill development, handwriting, all of the body things, if you're putting those in a back seat, then again, like I said, you're putting a barrier in front of your child instead of taking down every possible barrier for them to be successful in the classroom. So, I'm on my soapbox, which I do, as everybody knows, I get that way. I get really mad. And one day I'm going to be that woman that's probably arrested in a restaurant because I'm going to go up to a family and say, can we color? Can we sit down and color together instead of just handing them the phone when you sit down the minute you sit down at the restaurant? Because I bet they'll like it. And when I see that kid being pushed through the park with holding the iPad while they're being pushed through the park, one day I'm going to be that mom that goes up and be like, they really should be looking at the world and seeing the world and talking to you and interacting with you. I'm really worried, and this is just my own personal thing. I have a 15-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, and I have a 7-year-old, and they're all girls. And I see up here in this world, this 15-year-old and 12-year-old, I see what social media does. I see what online addiction to the phone. You hear every day about potentially another, the increase in suicide, the increase in anxiety, the increase in all of this because social media puts everybody's life right in front of you. I'm so old. When I didn't get invited to a party, I didn't hear about it till a week later, and by then I didn't care. But my 15-year-old, if she doesn't get invited to something, it's in her face from the minute that party starts. And you have all these conversations going on up here about how do we fix that? How do we fix that addiction? But for some reason, no one's having that conversation down here. No one's thinking, if I hand this to a 2-year-old every single day, maybe they will get addicted to it. Maybe it will be a crutch for them. Maybe it will be something that they're going to want. Maybe they're going to ask me in 3rd grade for a phone, and I'm going to be like, oh, no way. We're wait till middle school for phones. But think about it. If everything you're giving your child is the thing that when they're 5th, 6th, 7th grade, you're going to want to limit, their brains are like, wait a minute, what? So this is my passion project now that I have these ambassadors who are carrying Fundanoodle out into the world. My passion project is helping parents make that connection and understand that, yes, it's an addiction and it's scary up here in the middle school years. So what can we do down here to stop it and to make sure that they're not exposed to it until they're developmentally ready? So anyway, thank you guys so much. I'm going to wait and see. Now, I've had so many of my ambassadors, hey guys, that have chimed in about different things and answering questions. We do have, like I said, tons of marketing materials. We use a program called Canva, so we push out marketing materials all the time for our monthly specials, for our hostess specials, for all the different things that we do that you can customize for them. We do every other week national sales calls as a team, and we have a very super active Facebook group of ambassadors that is constantly helping and sharing each other. And we're new. 2 years in this space is new, and we're small, and I'm hyper involved and active, and I'm there every step of the way with the experiences that I've had to share and to make sure that you can hit the ground running and be successful. So I don't know if anybody else has any questions or if anybody wants to ask anything of my folks. So, I do have to read this. I'll read this from Kira. She's out, one of our West Coast girls, and she's really lonely in the West Coast. So that would be awesome to get her some more West Coast folks out there, and Sarah in Colorado. We're doing really well here on the East Coast, especially here in North Carolina. It'd be really nice to get some more folks out on the West Coast. But Kira said, one of my proudest moments at an event was when I saw a little boy hand his iPad over to his dad and run to my Fundanoodle table to use the iCompound kit. And that happens all the time. At events, we sell a lot of iCompound kits because the kids will be playing with it and the moms will make them leave, and they're pitching a fit so far down, we can hear them down the aisle, that the mom comes back. It's like, okay, I need to buy one of those things. So we have them at home. So yes, I know, Sarah, you're lonely in Colorado too. So we definitely have some spots where we want to make sure we bring some more folks on soon. But who wouldn't want to be part of this passion project? We are on a mission to make a difference. And it's really cool to be a part of that and to know that it's really, truly, it's ground floor. It's just starting. And the market is really kind of set itself up in such a way that it works really well for us where we are right now. Because people, especially teachers, are starting to pay attention. Teachers are noticing what's happening. That we've now got the first generation of kids who were raised with that iPad as their educational tool. Those kids are hitting kindergarten and 1st grade now, and it's obvious. So now we're getting the calls. We're getting people like, we've got to do something. But sadly, if you don't master these skills before 6, then the brain starts thinking about other stuff because there's so much other stuff after 6 that the brain's got to learn. and it's not really focused on this. And so that's why you see an increase in the OT referrals these days. That's why you see kids who are just struggling to write. You can't read their papers. And throwing more tech at it in elementary school by taking tests online, that's not the answer. Because the concept of letter formation and understanding and actual writing, it's just not going away, no matter how many times the tech person may want to tell you that. So we want to make sure that it's fun and it's engaging, it's cost effective, which is the other big thing, and that kids love it, that they ask for it. We've got tons and tons of example on our Instagram stories and our Instagram feed and on our Facebook of our little learners who are just in love with Fundanoodle. And now we hope that you will be, that you will take the plunge and join us in our passion project. It's a great time to do it. It's only our 2nd anniversary, and the pricing couldn't be better. $129 pretty much gets you one of almost everything we have. So it's a great starter kit. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Hope I didn't get too much on my soapbox, but it's passionate. It's something I care about a lot, and I want to make sure that we are helping kind of turn the tide here and let this find its rightful place back in kind of the back pocket, if you will, and get hands-on learning back up front and center for our little learners in that 2.5 to 6 age. Everybody have a great night, and if you have any questions and you didn't watch this live, if you post them, there'll be a ton of people answering, I'm sure. Thanks.